Fine.
Right.
We'll be quiet, Ben. You do what you have to do.
We're already done. We're live.
Oh, are we?
Yes, we are.
Ben, are we on air?
Yes, we're. You know we're on the air.
Come alive. Here it comes. This is I like my body, my cakey body, my cakey robot body. This place is slumping. Let's get it jumping. I only want to party. That's enough to get us in. Now,
the SuggestCast episode 2, the second episode. It's actually the third episode, but we're still calling it episode number 2. The second full episode. A full episode involves discussion of last week's suggestions and some suggestions for next time. Joining us today are Vincent. Say hello, Vincent.
Hello. Hi.
Matt. Say hello.
Hi. I'm saying hi.
Ben, say hello.
Hello.
And Bernard. Is it Bernard?
That works. Yes.
That's not his name.
He told me to introduce him that way before, though. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
all right. So let's just recap our suggestions from last time. Ben, what did you suggest?
Well, first of all, you haven't introduced yourself, Lewis.
Yeah, that's going to be a staple. Is that I don't introduce myself.
Okay, then another staple is me awkwardly trying to introduce you after you finished the introductions.
Fair enough. But now tell me what your request was from last time. Your recommendation.
All right, my recommendation last time was.
Is not we seriously not wanting to identify who you are?
Oh, no, it's not a secret. It's just.
No, he doesn't actually care. He's just.
It's
trying
just
to
my
make things
gimmick.
difficult for our listeners.
I didn't know if it would embarrass you in front of the important people you know.
Well, I'm trusting.
I only gave his first name. I didn't say Lewis Powell.
I'm trusting that these won't ever get watched by anybody outside of Synod, so I'm okay.
I think they already have.
Oh, really?
Neil
I don't
deGrasse
actually know. I haven't been
down.
Okay, Ben, why don't you tell us what your suggestion was from last time?
Okay, my suggestion for last time was a particular NewsRadio episode, the episode titled Boston.
Okay. And Matt, well, Matt, you had no suggestion last time.
That is
Vincent,
correct.
What was your suggestion? Vincent, what was your suggestion?
Well, it seems like he's frozen.
Mace. I thought of. I mean.
Barney, what was your suggestion?
Oh, mine was. Sorry. Mine was to think about the upside down keyboard and what it means to you, and figure out how to overcome it.
I thought it was to type upside down. I thought the suggestion was just to type upside down.
That too. There were a lot. And then later on, I simplified it to an animated GIF, and it's over time.
And Lewis, what was your suggestion?
The music videos, especially the ones that had science fiction world building going on, of Janelle Monae.
All right. It looks as though Vincent is not with us.
Really? You can't hear me now?
Oh,
No,
now
I can hear you now. You
Yeah, we-
came back just
Oh,
to.
Vincent, what was your suggestion from last time?
I suggested looking at the artwork of the book Maze by Christopher Manson.
Okay.
Visual aid here.
I think we should start with berries.
Okay.
Barney, Bernard. Well, I don't remember what I was calling him.
That's fine.
Okay, come on, Ben. We already have a Ben. Barney.
Saint Bernard.
Oh no, not Barney. Everybody but Barney. Let's talk about. Oh no, Barney. Give us a one-sentence summary of why you suggested that.
Oh, because the other suggestions had to do with Tupperware crates, and all I could think about in the head was TV dinners, because I had just had a TV dinner last week, and actually I just had a TV dinner now, and sometimes I have TV dinners on the brain all the time.
I was intending for it not to be a run-on sentence, I guess.
You were also intending for it to be about his suggestion.
Yeah.
verbalize a semicolon.
Yes,
Alright.
indeed.
So Vincent, Matt, and Ben, did you guys try typing backwards, upside down, whatever it's?
I did. In fact, I tried typing in Synod with a keyboard that was upside down for a while.
Upside down or just 180 degree?
Swiveled around 180 degrees. The keys were still pointing upward, but it was so that the QWERTY part was closer to me than the space bar.
And how do you feel about that? Did you gain insight?
Well, it was very slow. I got a little bit faster at it by the end, but not much. It was still much slower than normal typing.
I actually didn't get around to doing this one, so I got you distracted.
Surprising.
Fair enough.
I put it off and put it off, and then I didn't do it. Vincent, did you try?
You could do.
Vincent froze again. Matt, did you try typing upside down?
I did, and it was extremely difficult. One problem I encountered that I did not anticipate was not being able to find the home row on. I was putting my hands one row lower than they needed to be, and then eventually I started resorting to hunt and peck, but I've had the keyboard for so long that a lot of the letters are worn off, so I couldn't even do that.
Yeah, I was just hunt and packing.
Anyway, long story short, typing with your keyboard 180 degrees is incredibly difficult.
I got tripped up by parentheses at one point.
Oh, Vincent, we can see your video feed coming through, so you might be able to talk.
Yeah, but it keeps cutting in and out. I mean, I don't know. Is the phone worse?
You seem fine now.
There's a bit of an echo.
Jesus Christ.
I think that's fine. Anyway, what was it like when you tried typing with an upside-down keyboard?
I didn't do it for as long. Jesus Christ, I can hear my fucking voice coming through here.
This is a family video podcast.
Only Ben can mute you. Shit.
I'm pretty sure he could also mute himself.
Wow.
Oh, we got dual cam Vincent. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine. It makes it look like there are more of us than there are.
Here, why don't you proceed past me for the time being, and if my connection clears up, I'll participate.
Well, we can. It seems like the video and audio is coming through fine in short bursts.
I don't know how much value there is.
Okay.
If you're not
Then,
news.
Yeah, it seems like it's working now.
Jesus, hold on, I can't read here. It's live television, folks.
Vincent, turn off your.
When I turn my... God, I can hear my own voice coming back through the phone.
Just turn off your phone. Just turn off your phone.
It's only delayed by like 2 seconds. So I'm getting much better. Hearing my
Which
voice
one should I mute?
just after I'm talking, and it's making it difficult.
Just.
Okay, I muted one of them.
Was it the right one, though?
I don't know.
The wrong one.
Real?
Oh yeah, wait.
You muted the wrong one, Ben.
No, I think this is working. I think this
How
is
about
very
this?
good.
Yes,
Does this
okay.
work?
Now,
Yes.
just turn off your phone.
Now keep it on in case we need it later.
My phone is how I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're hearing through the phone but talking through your non-phone computer. Got it.
All right,
All right.
we're back to
So-
standard equipment.
Vincent, typing backwards, how'd it go?
It was more difficult. We're still talking about typing backwards. It was more difficult than I anticipated, and I was doing it on a laptop. Like difficult
Oh.
to reach around the screen. It seems to me like one of those activities they tell you to do to stave off Alzheimer's, like things that you usually do with your dominant hand, you do with the other hand, you know, or whatever, everyday tasks that you do in a different way. I don't know that I refer to it ever again as a reference, but
Well, what if you wanted to stave off Alzheimer's?
yeah, I would say You need to do something.
You can suggest it to your doctor to suggest to other people.
It's still not fulfilling the role of, like, important experience to be able to refer to.
Well, what I got out of it was sort of a new way of relating to the world. You don't normally think of a keyboard that way.
Well, that's like true. I don't normally think of my keyboard as upside down.
Yeah, but with this activity, it turned out that was.
Or 180 degrees.
Look, if
It was quite the opposite of what one would expect from a keyboard.
If you ever get really confused about where your keys are, that's what you'll remember and need to reference. This is just like that time I turned my keyboard 180 degrees.
We kept forgetting which side return was now on.
Yeah, it's basically a Family Guy joke. Anyway,
Alright, so
I guess
is that basically what you were hoping
Outer
we would
space?
get out of the experience?
Yeah, Barney, did we meet your wildest dreams? Did we do it right?
Oh yeah. And that outer space is up and it's not down. You look up and you see the space bar, and you know that's where you see all the constellations and everything.
Well, and the enemy's gate is down.
That's why you turn it 180 degrees once in a while.
Yeah, the spacebar not being where your
Yes.
thumbs are was probably the most disorienting part of it, actually.
all right.
Even with
You had to
space,
reach for the dot.
you're typing that a lot, and usually you do that without thinking. It's just down at the bottom. You know what I mean, Lewis?
You gotta reach up first.
Yeah, Lewis.
Well, I don't really, because I didn't do it upside down, so I don't really get the reference.
Yeah, I guess it's really something you have to experience.
Okay. Are we gonna do? We're gonna save Maze for last. So what's next? Janelle Monae or Boston?
Let's do Boston.
Okay. Ben, remind us of why you want to watch Boston.
Alright, well this was... Although I am a NewsRadio fan, this wasn't just because I think it's a good show. It's not one of my favorite episodes. But I think that the A-plot with Dave making the video for his old English teacher, dealing with his staff giving terrible stories about their horrible life experiences, I thought that plot was pretty interesting and involved some aspects of the human condition that you don't often see portrayed in media.
I'll tell you the one that didn't work for me of the people coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And this is weird because it's just the prototypical complaint about season 5 of NewsRadio. But like
Yeah, close.
the John Lovitz character,
Right.
I saw the misdirect they were going for, but I don't know, it didn't get executed well. So at the end when Dave is saying that losers are bad, which is the normal, attitude, and then John Lovitz is supposed to have his feelings hurt because he's like, I'm a loser and I'm okay with it. Like, it just didn't work for me. The other ones worked, I thought. It was just that one sort of felt very misdelivered. I don't know.
The show never really worked out what John Lovitz's character was supposed to be like.
I think he was supposed to be a poor replacement for Phil Hartman.
Kind of, but sometimes he was more like a second Matthew.
It's unfortunate. At any rate, sorry, I shouldn't dominate the responses. Matt and Vincent, did you guys watch? And Barry?
I watched. I didn't really get anything out of it.
I watched it.
I think the reaction that Lewis had to John Lovitz's monologue, well, not quite monologue, but his bit, I think you're dead on right about that it seemed like that was an opportunity for some real poignant moment or something that just kind of went awry. But I didn't really feel like any of them connected with me or, I don't know, cast the characters of the show in a different light for me, really.
Not even Beth's?
No, I remember, I think you said Beth in particular, you thought that her circumstance or situation or story, whatever, would connect with some people in the sign-on. I don't know.
What was the story?
Maybe.
Well, I think it definitely casts her character in a different light.
Which where
some
she
backstory
inadvertently
about-
dressed.
All right. Somebody said what the story was.
Yeah. Well, the sound keeps going crazy on me, and I don't know whether. God damn it. She inadvertently dressed strangely for her first day of school because she thought she was supposed to wear a Catholic outfit, and then thereafterwards she intentionally dressed strange every day after that, so it's like people weren't laughing at her. It was just that was her thing, dressing strangely, and then she
continues to this day.
Yeah.
This is the same episode where she was pretending she had carpal tunnel syndrome, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because she didn't have nail polish remover? Was that the
That was a
punchline?
good reason.
She didn't have time to remove the ugly color.
Right. I guess it felt more like typical news radio to me than I was expecting for a recommendation of yours, Ben. I'm surprised you didn't recommend the space episode or something.
Well, the space episode I would recommend if I were trying to recommend a very good episode of News Radio, but SuggestCast isn't about recommending good things. Well, I mean, that's actually not entirely true. We do try to recommend good examples of the types of things that we're trying to highlight.
Well, as Aristotle said, good is said in many ways.
It's probably very wise.
That's why
If you're looking for something that epitomizes, some characteristic or trope or whatever, you probably want it to be a good thing too. All things being equal. So we're not recommending things primarily because they're good, but kind of hope they'd be good.
Matt, did you have any thoughts on this news radio episode?
I really enjoyed seeing Dave become incredibly upset during that John Lovett's the Max bit. I actually did get something out of that you don't normally. Actually, it's been so long since I've watched news radio that I can't gauge whether or not Dave becoming incredibly upset and angry is something that happens often or not. But I think he played being a really upset guy pretty well.
He does. That's kind of his character arc over the series as a whole.
Well, let me ask about
increasingly angry and bitter as it goes on.
Like the author in that one interview. The guy who's got the interview where he's super pissed off about everything. That interview was awesome.
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, the news radio writer who did that interview for Rolling Stone. And in fact, in the episode that they made based on that, Dave was the one in that role.
I see. Oh, that episode was based on that?
Yeah.
I didn't put that together.
He gives a really mean interview and trashes all of his colleagues. But let me ask this about the episode that we actually watched. There is a reveal at the end that's a sort of standard news radio deflation of stakes, I guess, in a certain sense. Where like the punchline of the episode is that the guy who asked for this video has like a room full of dolls. Like it's not actual students, right? Like he's in an assisted living facility or something.
Yes.
Right, and all of Dave's work on this was ultimately pointless anyway.
They're real people.
Yeah. No, they were dolls.
They're simulated people.
No,
it's almost the same thing.
They were good, man.
So here's the question.
Yeah.
Was that part of
They listen.
Was that part of what?
Was that an important part of why you recommended this episode? Is that like the ultimate sweeping his legs out from under him at the end?
Not exactly, no. I had in mind more just the character level stakes in it, but it is true that news radio often makes the point that everything we do is meaningless and horrible in the end.
Yeah. It's sort of more pessimistic than you'd think of a show.
Yeah, like the episode they did where Dave does that.
Wow.
Says horrible things about everybody.
Well,
My main takeaway from that episode was that sometimes good people will do awful things for no reason. That just happens.
Yeah.
I thought the message that Dave ended ultimately coming up with about forgiveness and knowing your friends in ways that you didn't think you could was a very good message, and that really is what hurts about the fact that he was saying it to nobody, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's genuine wisdom there. You really get to know people, even the ones very close to you. You'll be very surprised by what lies beneath their depths, or beneath their surface.
Yeah.
Okay.
In their depths.
Next.
All right. So now let's talk about Janelle Monae videos.
Right, I watched the 4 specific ones that you mentioned.
Okay, that's good. So just to remind people of why I recommended these, I think Janelle Monae basically comes up with not just like a whole novel or a whole movie when she makes a music video. She comes up with an entire science fiction universe and like multiple stories, and then just gives you snippets of what's going on there. And so it's like the kind of world building that you can appreciate, but it's not all getting thrown in your face like the Silmarillion or whatever.
That's interesting, because I didn't get the sense that there was all that much behind it.
Say more?
I got the sense that she had a setting worked out and some tropes to drop in, but I didn't feel that there were very detailed backstories behind like all the minor characters who are shown briefly.
Yeah, like the one where they're in the museum, right? And the people are frozen, and then they get unthawed, and then they play a song. It's like there was like 15 seconds of like, hey, these people were frozen because their music was so revolutionary. Oh, they're unfrozen, and there they go with the music.
Time traveling rep. Yeah, I did like the opening lines in that. It was something like, it's very hard to stop rebels who travel through time.
Yeah.
But here at Time Cop Zero, or whatever it was called, we try anyway. I'm misquoting it horribly.
Yes. Yes, you are. No, so here's like what I have in mind. I don't know if you noticed that one of the characters in the Dance Apocalyptic music video had a birdcage on their head.
I did not.
Okay. It's like the camera person has a birdcage on their head, and you think to yourself, why do they have a birdcage on their head? Was it just a random choice? And then
because that's what they used for cameras in that universe?
No, there's like a 12-page screenplay detailing like the background of the fashion, like the shifts in fashion that went into people wearing like ostentatious bird cages on their heads as a fashion statement.
Okay,
so, like,
but that's not portrayed in the music video, so how am I supposed to know that?
Well, that's what I was. But
well, I think that's the point.
Yeah, that was.
Okay, that's the point.
But, like they do the background work, even though it's not going to necessarily translate more.
Right.
Yeah, and they also filmed an entirely different music video one stage over to the left and never showed it to anybody.
Yeah, it's very boring, I guess.
The Dance Apocalyptic song I thought was okay. The other ones were terrible, but I like that Dance Apocalyptic song.
I'd like to remind us all that this isn't about quality of music, which is notoriously subjective.
You're wrong.
This isn't recommending that because he likes the music, although he does.
Yeah, but the reason for recommending it was, I think we're past that. No one gives a shit, so I'm just trying to say something about the stuff. No one felt that there was any important world building going on. No one got sucked.
Well,
What about the one where they're in an asylum and they're not allowed to dance, but instead they dance?
I was going to bring that up because the thing I got most out of this was really effective use of lo-fi effects for a sci-fi setting. You know, like
when they just taped her suit to the wall.
No, that's crap. But what I mean is like, okay.
They're not on.
Okay, the guys in robes with mirrors on their faces, and like there's that strap that's very clearly just holding the mirror on their head.
Right,
like,
the mirror head dimenters.
You know, but it looks like it works. It totally works for you. It's like, yeah, I could believe that, even though like that black line across their face is obviously what's holding the mirror on there. And you know, having casting the same person in the same scene over and over again for having, like, you know, an android in the Many Moons video, where, you know, she's the model of android that they base all these other androids off of.
Wait, so yeah, nobody's talked about the android auction one, which is also like clearly a metaphor for slavery and stuff. Like, I just feel like there's a lot going on in these videos.
That's pretty heavy. I mean,
that one had a lot of different characters in it who were all just.
There was a cool horse.
Their names flash up. Now, Lewis, are there novels of backstory for each of those people?
I suspect, but I have no proof.
Okay.
Yeah, that one kind of reminded me of, what's that movie called?
Citizen Kane.
No, Southland Tales.
I haven't seen Southland Tales. It's by the Donnie Darko guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I think the only movie I've seen by the Donnie Darko guy is Donnie Darko.
Well, you've seen the good
Have you
one.
did that too?
Wait, which version of Donnie Darko did you see? Because if you saw the wrong version, you didn't see the good one.
I saw the one that was the first one.
Not the director's.
Not the director's cut. No, I watched it when it was new on DVD, and not old on DVD.
The director's cut was crap.
It's true to the director's vision, Lewis.
All right, let's not get sidetracked about how much we hate the director's cut of Donnie Darko.
Yeah, what is your problem with sidetracks? Everyone's always bitching about sidetracks, man.
Look, we have a lot on our agenda for today.
We don't want to get stuck on a tangent.
We're almost done with things that aren't Maze, and then we're just going to talk about Maze for a while. So, like, we're doing good time.
And then we have to do suggestions for next week.
Yeah, but that doesn't have to be that long.
It will be.
We blasted through them last week.
All right. So, anything else that people want to say about Janelle Monae's music videos?
I think I was insufficiently engaged with the music to really pay any attention to the story.
Barney, you about to say something?
But it had a cool horse. Yeah, there was a cool horse in one of the videos, and
yeah, that's in many movies.
yeah, I like that horse. And the song Tightrope's all right. I kind of like Marcus Miller's version a little better, but all the time, and that was the first time I heard, her version.
Miller version.
It
was my favorite of the four.
Oh, so one other thing that I should probably mention here that like is part of why I think that there is more to this backstory stuff. These songs all come from like a suite of concept albums that are interrelated. So like her first EP was called The Chase, and then she released The Arcandroid, and then her third album was The Electric Lady, and they are all connected, and they are all supposed to be the story of Cindy Mayweather, rebel, maybe android from the future. I'm not sure I follow the story entirely, but like, it's at least the level of concept album that like Styx had for Kilroy was here.
Isn't the Electric Lady?
That was a good album.
Go
ahead, Vincent.
Oh, I thought that the Electric Lady was a character from Tommy. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know. I mean, it might be an illusion. So, like, the cover of her album, The Arcandroid, is like a full-on, homage to the Metropolis movie poster.
Well, one thing I wanted to say is it seems like a lot of the lyrics in the song, and not just the direction of the music video, were also inspired by this, incredibly in-depth world building, and that's a little distracted when you can't understand what's going on in the song.
Can you say what you mean?
Like, it makes it hard to empathize with the character when you don't know what the hell she's talking about.
I see.
Yeah, but you could sort of get the gist
of it.
of it.
I did that with music.
Well, normally I don't, but it seems like I really prefer music with expressionistic lyrics, but it seems like if you have an elaborate backstory that you really want to convey to people in a clear means that it's aggravating.
I'm not sure that she does want to convey it in a clear manner.
No, she doesn't. Does she want me to feel confused?
Well,
what?
I just know I watched all 4 of those music videos, and I didn't read any novellas about why we have bird cages on our heads.
Well,
So
all
she's
right.
clearly not presenting that information to me very directly.
Well,
It's not a novella. It's a 12-page screenplay. Anyway, the thing is, I guess I reacted very differently to this stuff than you guys did. Namely, I found it all very intriguing, and it made me want to like see a science fiction movie that she writes. Like that's what I want to have happen, is for her to make a full-length like science fiction rock opera or hip hop.
well, that would be great. But
What if it didn't have any music?
Or what if
I'd
it
still like that, but I don't see her do it.
Vince, what are you suggesting?
Oh, you said what if it didn't have any music, and I said, or what if it didn't have any of her music?
You liked that one song, Vincent. Also, shut
That's
up.
true. They could play that like 10 times.
I had no complaints about the
between that and Wittgenstein. See, when everything goes quiet, I can't tell whether it's really happening or not.
More frozen for everybody else?
Yeah, he's been talking.
No, but it's his video.
Robots to me too.
All right, it's time to talk about Maze.
Alright,
Let's
so
talk about
Vincent's suggestion last time was Maze. But Vincent, there was a particular thing about Maze that you were suggesting, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was the artwork. I wanted you to take a look at the artwork in there, not the puzzles necessarily, the text or anything. It was about how you can take ordinary objects and, you know,
Yeah, I'm not sure that they're all ordinary
Work
objects.
for other people?
So,
Who has a dog that's barking?
Yeah,
probably not me.
Are they in trouble? Anyway, the art in this book is really reminiscent of like woodblock carvings from American Revolution times, I guess, is what I think of.
I think he actually does these as woodcuts, right? And then
Yeah,
These are
but he was
actual-
working in post-revolutionary times.
Right, so they are actual woodcuts, and that's why they look like woodcuts, and not just stylized like woodcuts.
yeah. I will say that the difference between having the book and looking at those stupid online pictures is enormous.
Agreed.
The stupid online pictures don't do anything.
And this is why last week I suggested that our listeners should go out and get an actual paper copy of the book.
Which I did. And I'm going to get a copy for my brother, I think, for his birthday.
I like that. Oh, you should probably make sure he doesn't listen to this episode until after he gets that.
Yeah, he doesn't listen to this. He won't listen to it ever. It's okay.
I'll recommend it to him
Sure.
after his birthday.
But like, I think this. So I'm now bypassing. Like the art is wonderful. I don't have much to say about it except that it's.
Well, wait, we should finish discussing the art first, since that's the aspect it was
I don't know.
suggested.
That's like listening to a Beethoven thing and then discussing, I don't know, what colored chair you were sitting in. Like, the artistry here is, like, that art is great, but it's in support of the puzzles, which are, like, what is going to lead someone to found a religion based on the book.
Yeah, but it's the manner in which it supports the puzzles that's interesting here. Like, the way he highlights these shapes and signs and so on.
Give examples.
But I actually disagree with a bit of what Vincent was saying about these arrangements of ordinary objects. I think last time you were saying that, like, if you were to just draw those objects on a table, it would look as puzzle-like. But a lot of the objects in here are like a large piece of paper with the words "Jibe Pine Compass" written on it.
That would look pretty puzzling.
Surprisingly few, like, just normal things you'd find in a room. There's somewhere there, like, a couple discarded boots on the floor. I'm looking at page 37, which has two giant dice with one face blank. There's a giant featureless cone, a sphere, very abstract shapes.
Which page has the bumbershoot?
there's a lot of them.
Yeah. And for our listeners, bumbershoot is an umbrella.
Well, don't spoiler.
I think we've said before that SuggestCast is going to involve spoilers.
Yeah.
I guess we probably should have said that in this episode.
We can always bleep it out.
This episode will contain spoilers for Christopher Manson's The Maze.
The Maze. Why
There would be some sort of...
That's my thing.
unnecessary definite articles?
Yes.
I think you should just do indefinite articles and just call it A Maze by Christopher Manson.
And people think I'm going for some sort of pun on maze, amazed.
I did learn that Christopher Manson was born in
what?
Buffalo. The city in which...
Interesting. So he was born where you currently live, and now he lives where I currently live.
See? Just like it's a puzzle.
No, it's not. It's just a coincidence.
Where's the number shoot? That's the question.
There are no coincidences, Matt.
Yeah.
TV dinner.
So, Matt, what were your reactions to the thing?
To the art style.
The art is beautiful, and no other artist could illustrate the book the way it was intended to be, and the author also illustrated it, so it works. As far as things being presented in a mysterious fashion, I think that's kind of inherent to the woodblock sort of printing method, because it seems so associated with like old and like history sort of stuff, at least to me, that if something is printed in woodblock style, that it's really old and you'll probably never know the whole history of it, or at least not without intense cataloging.
That's interesting.
Do you get that same puzzle effect from looking at like an old woodcut by Dürer or somebody?
Or like Wondermark?
It's not that it looks like a puzzle, it's just that it looks old, and inherently old things, like, you're not going to, even if you're like an expert antique dealer or whatever, you're still not going to know the whole story or even be 100% accurate. So the book looks old, even though it was written in, what, the 80s, 89 or something?
86, I think.
86. It gives it an air of being much older than it actually is, which is even further supported by all the crazy, sort of almost cultish and satanic text that goes with it.
Oh man, and the community of people who think they've solved the puzzle by just saying random stuff.
Well, there was an official solution I think was announced at one time.
Was it XYZZY?
Well, I'm not sure we should spoil that here.
I thought the whole thing was we don't care about spoilers.
Yeah, we don't care.
Vincent, what do you think about what sort of spoilers we should give? Like,
Let me tell you
should we
something.
spoil that thing? You know the one I'm talking about.
Let me tell you something, and would not even address the question you just asked.
Fair enough.
I think I've been completely distracted ever since I got back into Maze, which happened shortly after I recommended it last week, and started looking at the book again and going online and reading about it. And I cannot give due attention to anything else that's going on in this podcast that we're supposed to look at. I'm suggesting that the next podcast we do be dedicated entirely to Maze, and that we put forward any spoilers that are relevant. We discuss whatever's out there. And,
I would go along with that.
Spoken to the heart.
Yeah,
I'll go along with that too, especially since it means I don't have to come up with a suggestion for next week.
Well, no, you do, because that will be the suggestion for episode 4 instead of episode 3. In fact, maybe our Maze episode should be outside of our normal numbering system.
that's fine.
Maybe it should be a puzzle that the readers have to solve to know where it goes in the chronology of SuggestCast.
oh,
I don't
like Eon
make
Flux.
it harder for people to find me that podcast.
It's all going to be linked on synod.us. Is that the first time I've mentioned the site in one of these? It might be.
For more professional...
Lewis will link all of these on his Facebook page.
False.
What about SuggestCast? See Lewis's CV.
I might link Dissension from my page.
So there's this guy, White Raven, who has this website that claims to have solved almost all of Maze. Completely solved 44 of the 45 rooms, he says. Now I'm saying he. I'm not certain it's a man, although I think it is because of some snooping around I've done regarding people named White Raven associated with Maze. I've sent a friend request to White Raven on Goodreads just because I could find someone with an account named White Raven who have reviewed the book Maze, so I assume it's the same person. I did a for White Raven.
If you're listening to this,
and send a
you've got
message
a bunch of crazy cultists obsessed with you.
People like me.
And there's tons of stuff on the website to look at. But I kind of think White Raven's full of shit about a lot of stuff.
I didn't look at much of his site. I did look at his interpretation of the riddle in room 45 and how it differs from the standard explanation. I did not find that they're convincing at all.
Terrible. Stupid shit. Everyone who's on that site was just like, oh, that's wonderful, so that's the best solution, that's a great job. And these are all smart people, I think. I mean, to solve anything...
Well, they must be smart. They like Maze, right?
Yeah.
That is generally a good sign.
Something to that.
Great work, man. I couldn't
This is a book that a lot of very smart people have been obsessed with.
And unsuccessfully attempted to solve anything in. So to come up with answers about it, good answers, is difficult. You know, so I am saying they're probably reasonably intelligent people by the fact that they're there and participating and blah, blah, blah. But man, that stuff he was spewing was just so stupid.
Do we want to go into details about that section of room 45?
Let's save it for our White Raven hate cats.
No, but hang on.
Let's not make this about hate. I don't hate White Raven.
I thought I was the moderator.
I don't.
Step in and moderate us.
Okay, everybody shut up for a minute while I say a thing. This book, I have never been more feeling like I might be taking the first step down the path to becoming a crazy conspiracy theorist than when I started reading this book. Because I'm like...
Well, that's great.
It's like, it definitely feels like, oh, there must be a way to solve this. Like, I'm pretty sure I got to the right second room. I'm pretty sure I got from the right first room to the second room.
Which second room did you go to?
The demonic theater. The dramatic room with 4 entrances and exits.
The one with those 3 devils and there's the salt shaker and...
Yeah.
Room 26, okay.
I'm sitting there, and the salt shaker has an S on it, and then the other dude has an A, and there's a little Saturn, and I'm thinking, oh, am I supposed to take the S and the A out of Saturn, and the word turn is a clue? And then I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to be tying strings to pieces of paper around my walls in 3 weeks, and then I'm going to murder somebody because that's what it says to do on page 12.
SuggestCast does not recommend or suggest murdering.
We might, though, in future episodes. Be careful.
I'm not seeing anything indicating murder on 12. Well, there is some cannibalism. Anyway.
But you see my point, like, I completely see how otherwise intelligent people could go down rabbit holes like this, because the book is designed to drag you down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's kind of what turns me off about it. It's like, oh, God, this again. Because I already read House of Leaves.
Come on. Leaves. How is this House of Leaves? People make that
mazes.
Yeah, House of Leaves has a maze in it, but it's not like this. It's not like this.
The one by the...
It's not pretty pictures,
right?
But
House of Leaves was written by Poe's brother.
Yeah. And Maze has references to Edgar Allan Poe's stuff. Oh my god!
Together.
Wait, what'd you say?
Maze has references to Edgar Allan Poe in it.
Wow.
Cats live in the sea or whatever. What's that Riddler one, Ben, that you love? Where the Riddler...
Oh, yeah, that they were attacked in the sea. Sea for Catwoman.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, it talks into Batman too?
Only that there are riddles.
My first reaction to this thing was that I felt like I was trying to do Batman-style riddle solving when the Riddler's like... The Riddler leaves a fork, and you're supposed to get from fork to, like, banana in 3 steps. And Batman can do it. He's just word it.
Yeah. Let's see, the thickness of it is what turns me off of it, because it's like I don't want to give the guy the satisfaction. I guess that says a lot about me. It's like, no.
He totally...
Not a chance.
Like, I don't know about the dude himself, but the narrator of the book is a smug as shit asshole.
Well, one of the central mysteries of the book is just who that narrator is.
Yeah.
My theory? The Reader.
Is that really your theory? Or you just...
No, I made it up just now because I want something to
Is that like
The reader is the narrator? That
where the reader is
blows my mind.
the murderer?
Now,
Yeah.
White Raven claims to have confirmed the correct identity of the narrator with Christopher Manson.
But won't say what it is.
No. Well, no.
Wow.
White Raven's
Yeah.
not really laying answers.
Yeah, White Raven is trying to set himself up as some kind of Christopher Manson prophet.
Well,
He wants us to pray through him.
that reminds me of Eliezer Yudkowsky's dumbass AI box thing.
Is that your suggestion for this week?
Because the suggestion talk about Mazemore.
Okay.
Someone had to suggest it sometime.
But yeah, I want to suggest it at some point because I want to suggest that people read this and then realize that, like, the thing that's frustrating there is that Eliezer Yudkowsky could just tell you what the fuck he told those people, but he won't. To make a point about some dumbass made-up bullshit.
Yeah, see, that's what I feel about Face. It's like, it's just some dumbass made-up bullshit. Why would I want to waste, hundreds and hundreds of hours doing it?
For the fun of a puzzle, Matt. Don't you like doing puzzles?
No, I hate doing puzzles. I don't get anything out of it.
Well then,
Too bad.
Matt, in fairness, then this isn't a special commentary on Maze. This is just you like puzzles.
Right, okay.
It's like how
The book where on page 2 it says, here's the answer to what rooms you're supposed to go through.
Yeah, I like shows better when I've heard spoilers anyway.
I like spoilers better when I've seen shows.
All right, so I guess that'll probably wrap it up for today, since we're going with MazeCast for next week.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, bottom
Alright,
line...
so basically, our collective suggestion is to talk about Maze in more depth next time.
And spoilers ahoy.
Yeah.
Really, to any listeners, viewers, whatever, I guess viewers, I'm really sorry that this was such a terrible episode. Like, it's not that we didn't get off on, like, the greatest start with a 0 or whatever, and then last week we were kind of finding some footing. There was kind of funny, Batman with the stick, that was kind of funny. I think today was a total loss.
Either of your personal contributions to the podcast that you want to single out as excellent? Is that...
It's not a total
Well,
loss.
That
That
we're
just-
amazing that we should...
And even now, everyone's voices are going robot-y on me, so I don't know what you're saying.
I think that's your end, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
It's bad.
I won't just sit by while you insult this entire podcast like that. These are good people. Sure, they've made a few mistakes in their lives to get here.
People just like me.
But I can't think of anybody. I cannot think of anyone who I would rather suggest cast with.
That's the truth.
I agree.
Maybe Ashley.
Yeah.
That's so no.
Ashley could show her
No,
coward face in here, but
we've got a good crew. Technical difficulties made it tough, and then I was just totally distracted by Maze. At one point, when Ben was talking, I got up to get Maze from behind me and forgot that I wasn't wearing pants because I figured I wouldn't have to wear pants. I was just going to be sitting here. So at some point in the podcast, then we walk around without pants on. You know, I think the intro was.
End it. Vincent is so into Maze that he forgot to wear pants.
that's how great this book is.
We're
You're not going to need pants.
That's our new adjective for something great. It's pants forgettable.
All right. And on that note, this very pants unforgettable episode will come to a close.
No one's going to be watching this podcast without pants, I'll tell you that.
And we'll see you next time for our very special Maze episode.
Anyway, whatever. Bye.